Hi guys, wanted to go over a call that was made in our trading room on Monday. It was actually a letter play, which is in our free daily letter. You can get the ideas from our free daily letter every day, and it triggered and was called in our room, but you can see these every day in our letter. And the call was on deck, and this is the deck daily chart from Monday, what it looked like going back from the previous day, the weekend. And basically the call was once it got over on any of our letter plays on the bullish calls, once they get over the resistance area, which in this case was 38.68, the previous day's high or the consolidation, and once it gets above there, you look for an entry. And so then we look for an entry on a 5-minute chart, guys. So if you go to the 5-minute chart on this, and you can see that the nice thing about this trade is if it did trigger, you can see it had tremendous void. The first target possibly was up here at 40.18. You can see, and then possibly maybe all the way up here to 44.16. So if we go to the 5-minute chart, and we'll go back to Monday, we can see the first two bars were pretty big on deck on Monday, and then we pulled back here, and this was a subtle pullback. I call this, it was a very strong stock. It had relative strength to the market. Deck did on Monday. And when it pulled back here, I call this an inside 5-minute buy setup because basically it was one bar and it had a pullback within the bar. Basically, this was just basically a one-bar pullback and then an outside bar. So the call was over 38.79, and I said that you could either use the low of this bar, 38.39, as your stop, the low of this bar right here, which is the trigger bar, or you could use half of that bar, which is right about 38.57. Again, entry was over the high of the bar, of the red bar, and the exit was either half of this bar or the very bottom of the bar. Another way to do it, guys, is you could use you could have put half your stop at the low of the bar and the other half at halfway through the bar too. That's another way to do it as well. And now you can see as it started to move up here, just really nice trade. Just started going up very strong. Had a pullback here. I mentioned this was another entry. It wasn't my favorite entry. I wouldn't have normally taken this, but I said you could take that if you wanted. This was the entry that I liked right here, as a secondary entry right here, over 43, and your stop would have been under 14. Or you could use half that bar again as another possible stop. So I called this entry, then I called this as the second entry right there. I did not call this entry, but this red bar ignored, you could have used. It's not a good a 5-minute pullback. This is the one that I like. I don't think it's high odds, but this one I think is much better. And those were the two that I called in the room. And you can see it continues to move higher. There's really no reason to sell. It was in a 5-minute uptrend the whole time. Here's another pivot, goes up again, continues to just motor on, keeps moving up. And basically you can see if you're using a trailing method on the 8MA, this is an 8 and 20MA, it held the 8MA all day long. Now if you're in this room every day, you hear I always say really strong stocks will hold their 8MA. Strong stocks hold their 20MA, but really strong stocks will hold their 8MA. And that's exactly what DEC did this whole time. It just kept going higher and higher. It was just a wonderful, really good move. And now it's finally pulling back here for the first time. Now this is the first test of the 20MA on this whole time. It had been going up this whole time. We have a test of the 20MA. Now we're in caution mode because it tested the 20MA. It hadn't done it the whole time. If it doesn't make a higher high here, this is going to be a stop. For me, a trail stop. And now it starts to roll over here. And on this one, I would take half right there at under 40.32. Now you can either take half here or take it all here and give it one more shake underneath this 20MA, because sometimes they'll go one bar below that. You can see the big volume here. So you could have kept half of it, sold half of it here under 30.32, 34, call it 30.32. So you would have gotten out right there on that bar. There's the pivot. Now this is where you put the final stop here at 40.22 if you did keep half of it. Makes a double bottom here. Goes up again. Now when it goes up again here, and you don't make a higher high, once it starts to roll again, you could take it here, or you could wait for the break right there, and then you'd be out of everything there. But let's just assume you took this first and you sold everything right here at 40.32. Our entry was 38.81. That was over $1.50. And depending either a 30 or a 50-cent stop, if it was a 30-cent stop, it was over a 6-hour trade. If it was a 60-cent stop, 60-cent stop, it was like a 3-hour trade. Either way, it was a really, really good trade. These are the type of trades that we do all the time. Now, if you like this video, give us a thumbs up or give us a comment. I'd love to hear from it. And we'll see you next time. Thanks. Video